Hello and welcome to The Meet Cute, the podcast where we talk about all things romantic comedy, but mostly the bad ones. My name is Zach.
I'm Haley.
And I'm Edward.
And we have a very great guest in the studio/living room today. She's the author of How to Date Men When You Hate Men. Give it up, clap, cheer for Blythe Roberson.
Hi, thank you for having me on the podcast.
Thank you for coming in.
Stop cheering, everyone.
Literally calm down.
Thank you so much. The book is very, very funny. We're really enjoying it. Tell me a little bit about why you were like, I want to write a book about this.
Thank you, first of all. So I knew that I was going to write a book because I moved to New York because I wanted to write television, as maybe we all do. I don't know. I just assume everyone's trying to write for television.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And but everyone who worked in TV was like, we're good. We don't need you to write TV. But so I started writing New Yorker pieces, and then book agents started reaching out to me like, let me know if you ever want to write a book. And I didn't. I had written, the longest thing I had ever written was like a 12-page paper at school, which should be illegal that they let you graduate doing that. But I was like, okay, what books do I really love? And I love like Mindy Kaling. And then also this book, A Lover's Discourse by Roland Barthes, which is, he takes words and phrases associated with love and being a lover, like jealousy, engulfment, waiting, stuff like that. And then writes short, like 3 to 5 page chapters of his own thoughts and philosophy, novels, etc. And I was like, I can definitely write 3 to 5 page chapters. So then I was like, I just want to write about being a woman who loves men when we live in a society where men have all this structural power over women. But at the same time, I'm like a romantic feminist. Like, I grew up loving rom-coms. I, have so many crushes. I love to think and talk about the men that I'm sleeping with. So yeah, it's kind of like that dichotomy of like, I am fucking all the men I've ever met, and like they're all treating me horribly. So yeah.
I couldn't help but notice how often you bring up Harry Styles in your book, which one of my big old crushes. So
Yeah.
I was very excited to see his name pop out of the pages.
I noticed you have a Harry Styles button on your jacket.
I do.
Haley
I do too.
also does.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm having your baby one.
Oh my God. I have a giant, it just is a heart that says Harry Styles, and I'm like, it doesn't reference anything, but it gets the job done.
It makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it references something. So you mentioned that you love rom-coms.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite rom-coms besides the one that we're talking about today? of course?
Yeah. Let's see. When Harry Met Sally, obviously. I grew up watching that all the time. It was one of my mom's favorite movies, and it took me like 20 years to figure out the timeline of that movie, just because I was a kid and it made no sense to me that they kept on meeting and not meeting over the course of what seemed like centuries to me. But it really is only like 5 years. That's not really interesting, I guess, but it just blew my mind. Let's see. So yeah, definitely When Harry Met Sally. Bridget Jones's Diary.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
That's one that I never got
Really?
around to.
Maybe we'll watch it.
We
Yeah.
should,
Yeah.
all 3.
Yeah, the book is really good too.
Never read the book.
Oh, you would love it. It's like maybe better than the movie. One of my I was writing this paper at Harvard, the 12-page paper that was about like old like romantic novels like Pride and Prejudice, Wuthering Heights, compared to what I saw as like the dominant romantic novels of when I graduated around like 2012, which was like Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey.
Right.
And I was like, what went wrong? And my professor, who's like one of the most brilliant women I've ever met and like a Civil War historian, was like, you should read Bridget Jones as like an example of a really strong, even though she's like flawed, heroine of like modern times, even though it was like the 90s. But yeah, it's really, really, really fucking funny.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
It's like stupid fun. We should watch it.
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely game. Yeah. I've got no qualms. I never got
Ed
around to
Sheeran
it.
makes a cameo in the last one.
Yeah.
It gets crazy.
Does he? Was he?
The baby? Was he the baby?
Yeah, he was a baby.
Yeah, he was the Bridget Jones baby.
Hello.
Don't tease me because that's a crush of mine. And I know there are better looking men out there, but I got a big old crush on Ed Sheeran.
He seems nice. He's married
Yeah.
to his like high school
Yeah.
sweetheart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his tattoos are so bad.
Oh, they're so bad. I love them.
Yeah. I feel like they're so bad that he couldn't be mean to you because you would be like, who are you?
You got a whole tiger on your chest.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I remember seeing after the Super Bowl, like when Adam Levine revealed his artwork. I remember seeing someone say that it just looked like he took the entire book at a tattoo shop and was like, I'll take everything.
One of everything they did.
There was like a hawk. So the film we're talking about today is, of course, one that you are very partial to, I guess you could say. It comes up a lot in the book. You break it down very... I don't know what I'm looking for is just say in detail. It's... what, 1999?
Oh, man, I forgot to check that.
1998.
We're going to check.
I
usually have this up. Okay, you've got Mail, 1998, starring Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, directed by Nora Ephron herself.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The woman.
The woman. Man, oh man. So, Haley, why don't you hit us with a little run through of the plot, and then we'll go into it, and we'll talk about the film.
Okay, I'm going to give a little summary, and then we're gonna get down to it. So, Kathleen Kelly, a.k.a. Meg Ryan, is living with Greg Kinnear, a newspaper writer. He is obsessed with typewriters, and he fucking hates computers. But Kathleen Kelly, she likes computers. She goes on AOL and chats with a guy named NY152. She goes by Shop Girl. She loves her computer. Woo! They met in an over-30s chat room. We see this man is Tom Hanks. His name is Joe, and he's living with a woman named Parker Posey. That's not her name. That's the character. That's the actress. That'd be crazy. Parker Posey plays herself. Joe runs Fox Books with his super rich family. It's basically Barnes & Noble. Kathleen runs an independent bookstore called The Shop Around the Corner. And we find out they both live in the Upper West Side and are often in the same places. Joe is opening a Fox Books in New York City with the help of his best friend, Dave Chappelle.
Everyone's best friend.
Everyone's best friend, Dave Chappelle. One day, Joe goes to Kathleen's bookshop with his 11-year-old aunt and 4-year-old half-brother because his dad and his grandpa love having sex with young ladies. Cool. Kathleen tells Joe she's mad about Fox Books opening around the corner, so he keeps his last name a secret. But later, at a publishing party for New York book dweebs, Joe and Kathleen meet again, where Kathleen discovers Joe's true identity. She says, "You're a liar and you're spying," and he insults her store, which is not cool. During their conversations on the AOL, Joe tells Kathleen that she should defend her business. So Kathleen does, and then real-life Joe hates that. The shop around the corner slowly goes under. She visits a Fox Books, though, and it ain't that bad. Moving on, the two AOL buddies finally decide to meet, and Joe sees that it's Kathleen. At first, he decides not to meet her, and then he's like, let me go in there and, bug her a little bit more as myself, not as internet guy. Soon, wow, I'm doing really well. Soon, Shop Girl.
You can take a breath if you want.
Normally takes 45 minutes, just so you know.
Shop Girl stops hearing from New York 152. Joe later resumes their chat and says, oops, sorry, I was MIA, but I promise you'll find out why later. After they both break up with their significant others by Craig Kinnear and by Parker Posey, Joe realizes that he likes Kathleen and should stop being mean to her, but he still keeps his identity a secret. So, Shop Girl and New York 152 decide to meet up again, but first, Joe reveals that he really likes her. Upon arriving at their meeting place, she sees that New York 152 is Joe. Kathleen cries and says that she wished it was him the whole time. Oh my goodness, they kiss and it's all cool, and also there's a dog there. And that's... You've got mail.
You've got mail.
You've got mail.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Man.
Thank you.
So what works in the movie? What do we like about it?
Everything.
Okay.
Works in this film.
Yeah, we're going to ask what's good about this movie, what's bad about this movie, and what was funny for the wrong reasons. So first, what was good about this movie?
Edward, I know you liked it a lot. You came in, you told us that, and there was
hot.
There was a bit of tension in the air because Haley and I didn't love it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I heard that sharp intake of air.
We're not like bad people. We just So what did you like about it? What's really stuck out for everyone?
Blythe, would you like to? You've studied this film.
No,
Do
you go
wanna-
first. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts.
Me too.
It's. I mean, so I know you have problems with it for what it is in a modern context, but I think if you look at it through a '90s lens and what it was at the time, it's just a delight of a film. There's some sad moments. There's some beautiful moments. I've lived in New York for almost 5 years, and this movie made me realize that there's like a small town quality to some parts of New York, how you can always see the same person, how there are regulars, and it brought a little magic back into the city, which I'd been missing for a while.
That's so nice.
There are just some really heartwarming moments, like when she watches her mom's ghost dancing in the bookstore, when she cries in Fox's books.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is we'll talk about his character.
Yeah.
But he is wonderful with his aunt and brother.
Yes.
The kids.
Yeah, half-brother.
Right.
Yeah.
He's wonderful with them. I don't know. It just makes you feel good when you
Aw.
watch it.
Yeah.
No further questions, Your Honor?
Yeah, I feel like this movie does such a good job of capturing a neighborhood of New York, for
Yeah.
sure. You hear so many, like, Sex in the City, like, oh, New York is, like, a different, like, one of the characters. But I feel like Nora really, really, really loved one specific part of New York.
Yeah.
And just, like, it made me want to make that for Greenpoint or, like, Park Slope or, like, another neighborhood. And yeah, Tom Hanks is so charming, and Meg Ryan, their chemistry is so great that I think that's why it holds up to any degree, because he's such a sociopath.
Right. Oh.
in his actual actions.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but like Tom Hanks, the man, it's just like, who could hate him? Where I think like When Harry Met. Have you guys seen When Harry Met Sally?
I have. I know.
I actually have not.
And you have not?
Neither have I. So this
We
is,
will do
we're
that
gonna
one.
It's on
Yeah.
our list as like, because we know it's great, so it's on
Right,
our list as
right.
like.
Yeah. I would almost say that this is better than because like Billy Crystal is such a chode that it doesn't,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like he doesn't have any, that patina of like adorableness is gone, and I'm just like, he sucks. Like he's being so mean to her, and he's not funny, and he's like gross, and he doesn't even have a job in that movie.
Yeah.
Like
Because I also saw that in your book. You were like, Billy Crystal doesn't make any jokes in this movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
he does like a weird voice once, and that's like the extent of it. It's so dumb. But yeah, but Tom Hanks is great, and You've Got Mail. Meg Ryan's great. You know, Parker fucking Posey is in this movie.
I
Like,
know, yeah.
Yeah.
Greg Kinnear is
So
always
good.
a delight.
Yeah. Steve Zahn? Is
Yeah.
that? Yes.
Yeah.
Even that old woman, I forget that
Oh, I
actress'
Gene
name.
forgetting
Stapleton?
about her.
Yes,
She-
Gene
Yeah.
Stapleton.
What a
So
delight
good.
that
Yeah.
character is.
As
Yeah.
Aunt Birdie.
Yeah.
That's the
Birdie.
character's name. I got it fresh on the mind.
I feel like it definitely doesn't hold up that she, I don't know, maybe it was funnier in the 90s, but the fact that she fell in love with Francisco Franco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's not a
just some
good one-up
things.
joke. Yeah. Yeah, but that all works for me. Obviously, it's a very like tale as old as time story that's been adapted a million times, but it works for a reason. Young Chris Messina in Fox Books.
That's one of my bullet points.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
baby.
They didn't know what power they weld at that time. Oh, man, oh
Yeah.
man.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Chris Messina. I could see him at any age and I'd be happy. I mean, within
know.
reason.
Where do you guys-
90-year-old Chris
18-year-old
Messina.
and 18 and over.
What do you think of his bleached blonde hair?
So I was gonna say, where do you guys
So-
stand on?
So because it's him, I'm fine with it. But like, I prefer the dark-haired version of
Is
him.
it for a role? Did we?
It's for Suicide
I
Squad
assume.
too.
Oh,
Is he in that?
who is
Oh.
he in
No.
Suicide Squad 2?
I don't know, dumb guy with blonde hair.
Sure, yeah. That villain. I
I
remember
just
him.
want Chris Messina to always play his role in the Mindy Project. And I know
Yeah.
he's an actor and he's supposed to do more. But, I mean, that was like, mwah, exactly.
Yeah, that dance that he dances for
Ooh.
her. Yeah. And
oh,
then-
with the belt.
Well, there's the original choreographed
Oh.
dance that he does too, like an Usher song or something. I can't remember.
Aaliyah, I think.
Oh, and then later he does a striptease for her.
Because the belt, I was like, oh, my God.
Good move.
If only his hair was blonde. Who knows what I do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my good points. Is
Okay.
that cool? So, you guys like convinced me on the New York City thing, and I think especially because it was the Upper West Side. I mean, I don't live on the Upper West Side, but there was a while there, like 2 years, where all of my jobs were in the Upper West Side, so I felt like it was my neighborhood. So it did feel like I was like, I feel seen. It's like my neighborhood, even though I don't live there. And I love a Zabar's moment. Count me in.
Yeah.
Did you see that the new Vampire Weekend music video is
Jonah
at
Hill.
Zabar's? Yeah, directed by
I
Jonah
didn't.
Hill.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a day on the Upper West Side.
I love that. I didn't
know.
see that.
I don't know if it's out.
It's not
yeah,
out yet.
right,
Yeah,
but
this
they
is
were
all
That's
filming
why I
Gotham
didn't
us.
see it.
I've
sure
seen it.
we
Yeah,
did.
who says I haven't?
I liked that Kathleen Kelly was like really cool about her breakup with Greg Kinnear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That stood out
That
for
was-
me as just like a really cool moment where she was like, "You don't love me anymore," and he was like, "Nah," and she was like, "Me neither. That's so crazy."
That was a good. That's
was
a
a
good
great
adult
scene.
breakup.
Yeah.
That's actually my number one in terms of things I liked. That felt like, as funny as it was, it felt like real people. That They
Right.
were just
Yeah,
like, you know what, we're
totally.
not into this. And I was like, wow, they seem like so down to earth.
Yeah.
And I thought, on that note, the casting for pretty much everyone was great.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it sort of through like Tom Hanks colored glasses in a way, because like I know him from so many other things
Sure.
where he's just likable.
Yeah.
So it was a little tough to see him like, I was like, I can't judge if I think that he's like not great in this role because he's not great, or because I want Tom Hanks to just be like a lovable loof and not kind of flawed.
A mean guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I can't tell exactly where I stand, but I think other than that, I was like, yeah, this is like prime late 90s casting.
Yeah. I almost also wonder if in the 90s when this movie came out, he didn't read us so unlikable because it was just
Right.
more normal for
Yeah.
dudes
Exactly.
to
Like,
be dicks.
like I can't
Yeah.
decide, like, because I didn't know him like at that time. So I
Yeah.
only know him now as like the guy who,
America's dad.
yeah,
Yeah.
my dad.
Your real father.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I have a friend who's friends with his daughter Emma, and they were talking about movies that like classic movies neither of them had seen. And my friend Maddie was like, "I haven't seen The Godfather, which I know is your father's favorite movie," and she had to be like, "Oh wait, Joe Fox."
In the never mind.
He goes through the Rolodex of his roles.
Which, guys, hot take: The Godfather sucks. I hate The Godfather.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
Okay,
I agree.
Thank
It's
God.
so fucking boring.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
How
From
about
your
what-
point of view, I've only seen You've Got Mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's one good line. Leave the gun.
There's
take
a horse
the
in my
cannoli.
bed.
Who put this horse in my bed?
Classic line.
Oh, free horse. Slow fade to credits.
Oh, boy.
It's such a classic. Like, if a man doesn't know what movie to pick, they're like, oh, as their favorite movie, they'll be like, The Godfather. It's the best movie ever.
Better Scarface.
And it's
yeah.
become, or The Departed in like
Right.
recent
Yeah.
years. It's
Right.
like, and it sucks too because I watched it on a plane and I was like, oh, this is good, but I don't want to go around telling people
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, is anything else
Oh,
that you guys
I've got
love?
more.
Okay, sorry.
I actually had a favorite funny scene. I actually really liked the scene where her like shop workers were like thought that New York 152 did not show up because he was a murderer
that
going to be
murderer guy.
arrested. That was really funny.
Yeah.
Like in a movie that wasn't like ha 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 funny. I was laughing. That was funny.
I misquoted that for years. I was saying in any situation, I was saying, "Oh, maybe he's the Unabomber," thinking that I was quoting this famous
Right.
scene, and no one knew what the fuck I was talking about because he's not the Unabomber in that movie.
It's just some other murderer.
You were just accusing people of being the Unabomber for years.
You just came
like-
across as a conspiracy theorist.
Exactly. They're like, he's in jail. They caught him. Yeah.
That's so funny. Parker Posey. That was a good point for me. Like, her character was good. She was
Yeah.
good. I don't know. She was real quick to give Kathleen a job.
I
Yeah.
know. Because she's
Yeah.
a good person.
She's not
Yeah.
a bad person.
She's
Yeah.
a nice
just,
lady.
Business minded.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anything else for you on just like the goods that pop out?
Nothing that really sticks out. I have so much more bad than good.
We're gonna have a head to head.
I'm very sorry, but it's my truth.
All right. So I feel like the elephant in the room then for what's bad about this movie is just like Tom Hanks kind of.
Tom Hanks' character.
His character, Tom Hanks, is great.
Joe Fox.
Yeah.
It's Joe Fox as a guy, and I think Blythe, you have plenty to talk about on this.
Yeah. Well, my publisher made me legal from my publisher made me put. I had my whole chapter of Tom Hanks is the villain of You've Got Mail, and they made me at least once say Tom Hanks's character Joe Fox because they thought people would literally think I was an idiot who thought that Tom Hanks was playing Tom Hanks in You've Got Mail. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, so he's so mean, and I feel like I talk about this in my book where I watched mostly Nora Ephron movies growing up. I watched all the shitty rom-coms that came out in the aughts or whatever, but the ones that I watched over and over were Nora Ephron. And I don't know who hurt Nora. Well, I do. Carl Bernstein. Nora, but all her men are just so rude as flirts. And I get that it's easy to write mean jokes as comedy if you're writing a rom-com. But yeah, it just made me think that it was cool when men were insulted you as a joke. And it's really not. I now tell men that they're not allowed to talk to me that way, and it's so much better. It's I'm so much happier. So Tom Hanks is way rude. He gaslights Meg Ryan for the last act of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So fucked up. If he showed up, I would not be, even if I had a crush on him, I would be so freaked out.
I wrote, now why is Tom Hanks gaslighting both his email self and her? He was gaslighting everybody.
Yeah.
The whole room.
Just you already have so much fucking male privilege, class privilege over Meg Ryan. You ruined her life. Why are you now wielding this other?
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's a sociopath.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah.
For real.
I mean, that of course is the big takeaway. I was like, he didn't change. He just got away with it.
Yeah.
Is really the end. And I really hated that, to be honest. I was like, this feels bad. I know I'm supposed to like this ending, but I was like, this is the same guy.
Yeah.
He just
That's true.
decided to be like, all right, you know what? I'm shitty. And she's like, I love that about you.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Why does he say hello? It's Mr. Nasty? Because I wrote it down in huge
Yeah,
letters
I don't
and
remember.
can't remember
I do not
why.
remember this.
I think it was one of the draft emails that he's writing to. No. Maybe it was. I think it was when they're talking about I can never think of the right burn to say in the moment. I wish that I could. And he says, I can. And it's, it's hello, it's Mr. Nasty.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, but it's bad. I wish I hadn't. Yeah. I think that's what happened.
That statement ages so specifically funny, too.
It works so well today.
Yeah.
I tell everyone I'm Mr. Nasty, and nobody talks to me, and it's great.
I just feel like the word aged weird. It's nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a hysterical word now. No matter what, if you put it in there, it's super funny all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I thought that the thing about his uncle being a child and his aunt being a child and half brother, I was like, that's a very specific kind of weird detail for this movie to have. But then when you meet his grandfather, meaning the girl's dad, I was like, fuck that. That guy's 90. That's so gross.
Yeah.
And unreal. Physics. I know I don't have
He
to poke
ain't
the logic
shooting
of this
blanks.
movie. But yeah, but pretty more or less. I don't know. I walked back from that being are we supposed to think that's charming too? I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, I was pretty
Fair.
grossed up by his whole family. That whole scene where they're all laughing about small businesses failing and making fun of their wives. I don't know. They were pretty gross. I don't know if Nora meant us to like them.
Oh, definitely not them.
Yeah.
But at that point, I don't think we're supposed to love Tom Hanks' character either.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was my thing at the end. I didn't feel like he did a full 180 or anything to get us away from that person in that room.
Oh, yeah, totally. He had no personal growth.
Yeah, which I don't know. When the credits roll, I was like, no, give us something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Not my job. I'm not Nora Ephron.
Credits.
Yeah.
Another thing, because I was just about to say, I feel like Mr. Darcy, he grows, and if we're going with that, it also reminds me that Tom Hanks, his character didn't know Pride and Prejudice at all and was like, icky, girly book, gross.
Yuck.
Yucky.
Yeah.
Exactly. When he fucking owns his 3 generations of his family have owned a bookstore.
Yeah.
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 One of the most popular books of all time. Probably one of the best sellers in their bookstore. He should probably know what it is.
Yeah. Do Do we even see him read in this?
Yes, he tries to read Pride and
Pride and
Prejudice,
Prejudice,
but then he's
yeah.
like, ugh,
Like
I'm
literally
growing
that scene.
boobs.
Like that scene literally happens because they're like talking about it via AOL Messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm reading your book," and it's like a scene of him being like falling asleep on the pages. I'm like, Jane Austen's very funny. Consider yourself lucky.
Which, can we talk about AOL Messenger for a while and how just nostalgic that makes you? Just listen to that dial-up noise
Oh,
and seeing
yeah.
that one website they have, and it goes, "You've got
Yeah.
mail," and you're like, "Yes."
I actually wrote like there's something really satisfying at the dial-up noise, like hearing that like. I was like, I'm back
Yeah.
in my parents'
Yeah.
house.
Computer room.
Yes.
Help! I'm trapped.
help. I missed like emailing my friends. Like
Oh, I never did that.
You never did that?
Oh,
No.
all right.
Well, because I had like theater camp friends who I didn't go to school with,
Oh.
so I would like email them because I would only see them like every few months or like just in the summer, and like waiting for that email to come. Very exciting.
No.
What was your email? What was everyone's first email?
Ooh.
Oh gosh, Hailstone Malone,
At what?
AOL.com, baby.
All right.
You could probably still email it.
Mine was Films and Corn. That's so that's film Z and corn.
Great.
Like films and popcorn.
Sure.
Because I like movies. At yahoo.com.
Oh, that's nice. I feel like I must have had one before this, but I can't remember what it was. The first one I can remember is, did you guys ever listen to the Ataris, that pop punk band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
You
while
might be
ago.
too young. Yeah. I was a big fan, and their lead singer was Chris Rowe, and then obviously the lead singer of Nirvana is Kurt Cobain. So mine was KX Rowe XKX Cobain at AOL.
Oh, I loved the era of the X's
The
and
X's.
screen names.
Oh,
Oh, baby.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was at for a short time when it was like, AOL like was done for, and then it was just like AIM, one of mine was Tiny Dancer XO. Yeah.
Was there any underscore in there? Or was
No,
it
no,
just-
no. But there
okay.
was no A in Dancer. It was Tiny Dancer.
Tiny Dancer.
XO.
Call me closer, tiny dunce. I just said call me closer.
Exactly.
Those
What
are the
was-
words, right?
What was yours?
Well, the first I can remember as well was, the popular character from Harry Potter, Scabbers. It was Scabbers at bellsouth.net. So
What's
Bell?
Bell South?
Oh, great! All right.
Oh,
yeah.
I had a cousin, I think, who had Bell South.
Oh, I'm so.
Was that Yahoo south of Virginia?
Yeah. It was just one guy with a crank. And he was just
Wait, where are you from?
South Carolina,
Okay.
Yeah.
Where in South Carolina?
Columbia.
Okay.
I went to school in Charleston.
My boss is from Charleston. He
Oh,
talks
yeah?
about it all the fucking time.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Great.
Oh gosh.
Who's your boss? Are we gonna?
Stephen Colbert.
Oh. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went to school in that area.
Yeah, I think he had 1 year of college
Right.
in South Carolina and
Yeah.
then went to Northwestern.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Guys.
That guy. Yeah, who's your boss? Stephen who?
I don't know if you've heard of him.
I have not.
Hold on. I'm just finding a thing in my notes. First off, why is it that when after like weeks and weeks of them insulting each other so much, Kathleen Kelly goes, "You're just a suit." It breaks him.
Yeah. I guess, he probably thinks of himself as like creative in some way because he works with books and he realizes, oh, I don't know shit about books and in fact have no interests other than watching the one movie that we've all agreed is good. And whenever anyone asks me to have fun, I say no unless they're 11.
Yeah.
Back to things that are just like a little not good about this movie. The fact that they are both in relationships, and I know that ends up being part of it in the end, but like the scene specifically where he's about to go meet her for the first time and he's like, "Oh God, I gotta know if she's pretty. Dave Chappelle, tell me if she's pretty." And he gets so fucking excited that she's pretty. I'm like, you have a girlfriend, a live-in girlfriend.
Yeah, but it's Parker Posey. I don't know. That's
Well, something about the way
What it
the
is in the
friends
movie.
too, like her friends, like she's dating Greg Kinnear, represent, and there's something about like the way that her friends are also like, oh, are you still talking to that guy? Blah blah. Blah. That felt very modern to now, just like
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
supporting like their friends. Not, I don't want to say like not being faithful, but
Right.
Well,
Well,
relationships are weirder to define now.
I think that would be
Mm-hmm.
it. Like if this took place now, they wouldn't be like dating Greg Kinnear, Parker Posey.
But did they?
those-
I think
those
they
things.
lived together.
Oh no, they're
They
certainly
both lived
dating
together
in
in this
in the
movie.
90s. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it were in like modern context, you're right. It would just be like they were seeing each other or talking. What do the kids say these days? I don't know.
Yeah, hooking up.
Hooking
hooking
up,
up. Yeah, I guess that would be
slamming on the rig.
no. Hooking up was right.
All right, I'll get my shoes. Where are my shoes?
But yeah, so there's something about that I didn't dislike because I was like,
Yeah.
that felt like
Sure.
realistic because like you take your friend's side and things like that.
Yeah.
No one would be like, I'm gonna tell this person I haven't met, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like it did feel just like I don't know. I can't tell if it's of the time because I was like 7.
Well,
Sure.
I think they also like throughout the film were kind of like confused as to what they're even doing.
Yeah,
They're like,
that's
I'm talking
true.
to this guy. It was like kind of a joke at first. I don't know. Like, are you having cybersex? She doesn't even know what that is. Like, I feel like it's such a good. I read some interview with. I think the woman who wrote Set It Up. Did you guys watch this?
Oh,
We
yeah.
did.
Yeah, we
Fucking
did.
love Set It Up.
I think
if
that's
you say
our-
anything bad, I'll kill
No,
you.
no, no,
No.
We like rate the movies at the end. Like we'll get
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I think that's our highest rated in the history
Really?
of the podcast.
It
yeah,
was bananas good.
we
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah. So I think I saw this woman who wrote that movie being like the best rom-coms are not about specifically what it's like to date at that time, but end up showing what it's like to date at that time. And I'm like, oh yeah, like this was the edge, the cutting edge of what it meant to date online, and no one really knew what they were doing,
Right.
which I feel like kind of excuses the fact that both of these people are being emotionally unfaithful to their very serious partners.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's so fucking weird.
it felt.
Well, like that was just felt like the moment to me where he's like, "Yes, she's pretty. Hell yeah!" And I'm like, "Okay, so you clearly have other intentions,
and
sir."
there's something
Yeah.
else at some point. He's complaining about Patricia in some form, and someone's like, "I thought you liked Patricia," and I'm like, "Yeah, he fucking lives with her."
Yeah.
It's not like it's like, "Oh, I went on a few dates with her. Oh, I thought you liked her." No, they moved in
Yeah, they
together.
moved in.
Yeah, you thought he liked her.
Yeah.
Bizarre in that sense.
He's so bad to her, and she's like totally fun. Like when I was a kid, I hated her. I was like, Parker Posey's the villain, and then I watched it as an adult, and I was like, she's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Pretty
fun.
good gal. Yeah.
Yeah.
She just yelled on that elevator once. And that's,
Yeah, and even then, she was like stuck in an elevator. And
Right.
She just wants her Tic Tacs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Don't we all?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
how come? I feel like the movie punishes her for not having a fucking epiphany on the elevator. But like, if I was on a crowded elevator, I wouldn't reassess my entire life.
Right.
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
And then I don't like this. Really doesn't have to do with the plot, but I think it speaks to his character. I don't like when he takes all that caviar at the
Yes.
party.
Oh yeah.
I was like, who the fuck raised you? Fucked up.
Yeah. That is white male privilege.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
don't do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Take food very seriously.
Also, does that taste good? That's a serious question. I've never had
It's
caviar.
super salty, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I will probably go to my grave not knowing what that cake was.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, right.
Was it like a pound cake with caviar on it? Yeah. What was that thing?
I don't. If only
I don't know.
Nora were alive.
In Beauty and the Beast, when they're like, "Try the gray stuff. It's delicious." That was that.
That's
maybe.
what it is.
Yeah.
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 I like that scene in Beauty and the Beast where he's trying. Is it ravioli? He's trying to eat something, but he's got big paws, so he's just kind of like.
I think I know what you mean.
This is
I don't
yeah.
remember that scene.
This
but
is
I
an
believe
audio
you.
medium, so
but,
for the listener, you know that scene.
someone at home is like, yeah, I do know that scene.
Yeah.
Where he's doing the thing that Zach
Someone's
is
in
doing.
their car like, it was ravioli. Can you hear me?
And we can. This is a call and response show.
Yeah, Trevor. But yeah, I mean, I think that my big... First of all, can we just also say, like, I thought Meg Ryan was lovely.
Yes,
Like, she was
she's
so likable
charming.
and great.
And I like, and I don't know, I don't really know enough about, I guess, this specific time period where Meg Ryan was like queen.
Right.
But like, I feel like there was something especially charming, the fact that she wasn't like model beautiful, you know, that happened later in like the 2000s, where later all of the rom-com leads were like gorgeous, and they were like, ugh, I'm just a little nerd.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Like
it'd be
she was a normal looking person, and they were in their 30s. I don't know. It was just charming, and I liked that.
Yeah.
Like, she is pretty, but it was just normal person.
She wasn't
Right.
like
Yeah.
Jessica Alba being like, I work at a zoo.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, yeah, you do, but
But you're still Jessica Alba.
but you're Jessica
so-
Alba.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, Meg Ryan was fantastic in this movie.
Delightful.
So good. Also, all the emails they send, in my book, I'm like, they're falling in love because what they're saying to each other is so fucking stupid. Like,
yeah.
like no one cares. But I think about those emails all the time. Like Nora did such a good job with like I would send you a bouquet of freshly sharpened pencils if I knew your name and address.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
I think
true.
about that all the time. Whenever I see a butterfly on the subway, I think about the butterfly on the subway.
Do you ever see a butterfly on the subway?
I've
That was
seen-
such a beautiful moment.
I know.
And
Maybe like 3 times. I've lived in New York for like 5.5 years.
that's Nora.
Yeah, that's not
A
baby.
butterfly on the subway?
Yeah, but then if you
Yeah.
listen close, it's like, Showtime, Showtime. You're like, you
Oh, there's
fucking
3 more.
butterfly. God damn it.
Oh, it's a mariachi butterfly band.
That'd be so cute.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I've never seen a butterfly on the subway.
Well, now you'll see one.
Yeah.
Well, not soon because it's winter.
I've got time. Yeah, that is sweet. Yeah, early stage relationship to texting is so stupid. I'm thinking specifically about you. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad those are like burned in history because I'm sure some of those things would be so stupid.
But as you're doing it, you're like, this is poetry.
Yeah.
I am a silver-tongued maverick. Yeah, anything else that sticks out that you guys just despise? I know it's hard because we're so divided 2 and 2 here.
They're all white.
True.
Even Dave Chappelle is
Even
right.
Dave Chappelle. Poor Dave Chappelle.
I
Like,
know.
fucking comedic genius gets no jokes in this movie. He has one speech and it literally doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually, because in your book, you said that he like gets a speech that like should have been a bigger deal, and I was like, I don't remember him having a speech.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it? I don't remember.
The take it to the next level speech.
Yeah.
When Tom Hanks, when they're walking to the blind date,
Uh-huh.
and Tom Hanks is freaking out about what he'll do. And Dave Chappelle's like, you just got to take it. It's like levels. You take it to, you like her. And then it's just so obvious. He's like, and then you take it to the next level. And then you like, I don't know if he even gives examples of what a level would be, like meeting a parent or sleeping over. But he's
Right.
like, just you take it to the next level until you don't want to take it to another level. And that's like the whole speech. And it's supposed to be so funny, but there literally has no punchlines.
Yeah. What I
like vaguely remember that.
it's weird in movies where where they're like, yeah, let's cast this comedic genius and give them nothing. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
strange.
That's like, I'm not going to call him a genius. But when we did Fool's Gold and they have Kevin Hart in it in like a big role, but they don't let him be Kevin Hart. I was like,
he was just the bad guy. They could have had anyone.
yeah, I was
as
like,
the
no, like
bad
you
guy.
get Kevin Hart so you can do his Kevin Hart. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. Things
Unless
like
you
that.
love Fool's Gold.
In which case.
Yeah, no, I saw that one time a million years ago, and I totally forgot that Kevin Hart was in it.
Yeah, his character's
Yeah.
name is Big Bunny. So you know.
You
He's
bet
a
it is.
gangster villain and he has no jokes.
Nor is he
Yeah.
bunny themed. He should have been bunny themed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he had nothing.
Damn.
So now before we like rate this movie and really like give it a number, anything that was unintentionally funny that you could think of.
Well,
Funny
Mr.
or
Nasty.
funny for the wrong reasons, which I think the big one is hello, it's Mr.
It's
Nasty.
Mr. Nasty.
Which
I-
what is funny in its
Yes.
own right, but later on hearing Tom Hanks say that now, I'm
Right.
like, that's so funny.
It's the same thing as like in The Holiday where Jude Law, opens the door and he's like, yes, it's me. It's Daddy.
Yeah.
No, he says, yes, I am Daddy.
I am
That's what he
Daddy.
says.
Yeah.
So unintentionally funny now.
I think about Mr. Napkin Head from that movie
Oh,
probably every 6
Every single
days.
day.
Are there any more yes, I am Daddy moments in this movie?
I'm looking through my notes. I feel like I have something. Oh, the his stepmom really wants to kiss him real good.
Oh, yeah.
Even though his stepmom ran off with the maid.
The nanny.
Yeah,
the nanny.
and-
Yeah, that didn't feel like Nora was in on, like being woke to the queer community.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I felt like a lesbianism is a joke thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
But-
ugh.
But then again, the line that spurred the line, I think, where someone was like, have you ever been with anyone like that? Like someone who makes you happy? and I think it was like off the woman running away with her nanny.
Mm.
I was like, that's such a specific. I don't know. It was a big like shifting moment on a like pretty inconsequential like part. I don't know.
Yeah, that was. But all her like advances before that, I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
why are you?
Yeah,
a
why
character?
are you? Who
Yeah.
are you?
Something that bugged me that no one else in the entire world ever gives a shit about is when Tom Hanks is making fun of Meg Ryan, like irking her through email when he knows it's her, but she doesn't know it's him. He makes fun of Joni Mitchell and is like, oh my God, fuck, what is the exact line? It's clouds illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. He's like, what does that
Whoa.
mean? She's taking flying lessons. And it's like,
Oh,
that doesn't make any like A, it's a fucking metaphor, you idiot, and B, if he wanted to make it sound like she was taking flying lessons, it should have been like, I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down. Like that makes it sound like she's in an airplane.
Yeah.
He's just never experienced any woman-made art
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, is that on the Godfather soundtrack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So we're just gonna take a very short break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna rate this puppy.
And we're back. All right. We are going to rate You've Got Mail. Blythe, what do you want to rate this out of?
I think the metric is going to be tall decaf cappuccinos.
Yeah.
Cappuccino.
What a complicated order.
Speaking of The Godfather, Al Pacino.
Oh.
We're doing it good.
If you're listening, please leave a 1-star rating. I know my worth.
All right. So the chemistry. This is the chemistry between Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
Blythe, you are our guest. We'll start with you.
I think this is like one of the best things about the movie. I give it 5 tall decaf cappuccinos. They're so, I don't know, they're both so likable. They're so likable in person, talking to one another. Yeah, I buy it.
You know, if we're going with chemistry being them kind of being mean to each other, like at least evoking emotion out of each other, I'll give it like a 4, I think. Maybe I'm taking away a point just because I didn't like how they acted to each other. That's a me thing, but they worked really well together, so I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. Like I think like they ended up. I don't know what I'm trying to say exactly, which is great because it's an audio medium. But I think they got what they needed out of each other in a really great way. What they got, I didn't love entirely, but they made it work between the two, and I think that was strong. So I'll also go with a 4.
But is that more of a romance aspect or a chemistry aspect?
No.
In your guys' opinion?
Yeah,
Hmm.
because I feel like
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess I just lose it a little because there wasn't a point where I was totally just like, "Ooh, look at those sparks flying," you know.
Yeah,
And that's what chemistry.
but
is.
I do wonder now that I think about it. I do wonder if that was solely because I just
You didn't like
hated
their
his
little
character.
interactions.
Yeah. So I
But
wonder
they
if
did
like
have chemistry as actors.
I wonder if any other casting could have saved it, or if it was just
Right.
because of
Sure,
what was
sure.
there.
You know what? I've been convinced. I'm not going to go full 5, but I am going to bump it up to 4.5 tall decaf cappuccinos.
Yes.
I'm still gonna stick with a 4.
Okay.
That's fair.
And I don't know.
You don't have to prove you're anything.
No, I'm gonna leave a little bit of space out there to say that maybe some other choices or something from Tom Hanks' part could have shown some positive sides of his character's personality, and I think maybe his acting choices made him double down on the terrible man that was written. So for that, I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Give me a 5 as well, because while you made a good point. Like, who could have done this better? And I don't know. This was a really good pairing. I liked their repartee. It was very like Much Ado About Nothing esque. And yeah, they worked well together, and so I think they worked really well together. And I don't think any other combo could have worked just as well. as we saw in When Harry Met Sally. And by we, I mean not you or I, Zach.
Yeah. Yeah, remember that scene with the raptors?
Oh, yeah.
That was fucking sweet.
Remember how that movie was just The Godfather 2?
Oh, yeah.
I wish. I've never seen any of the Godfathers.
Yeah.
The supporting cast, the best friends in the film.
Blythe, what do you think?
Oh my god. Okay, let's
It's
see.
tough.
Yeah.
It is tough because they cast people who rock,
Right.
Yeah.
but the roles were so weird. I'm gonna give it. Can I include the exes as well? And the best friends are just. The
You know
best
what?
friends?
Yeah. Why not?
I think especially like Greg Kinnear allows that caveat because
Yeah.
like at the end they were friends and
Yeah.
supportive. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, go for it.
All right, I give it a 3.5 tall decaf cappuccinos, just because like Kinnear is fucking killing it. Harper
He
Posey
is, he
like
is.
so leaning in. She knows she's acting for the future, for history. Will this role.
She is.
Yeah, and then Steve Zahn. I mean, to even have him,
They got Zahn.
yeah, like number 6 or 7 on the call sheet is so inspired to have him just like get mad and walk out of a store and not come back that whole scene. Yeah, so 3.5.
I feel like 3.5 decaf cappuccinos, tall decaf cappuccinos, actually sounds like a really good number because I also love what's the perfect date? April 15th. That girl.
Oh yeah,
I like her, and I loved the murder scene, so that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg Kinnear was so stupid. I loved it. So 3.5. That
Oh my
sounds
God.
right.
I also constantly say I am a lone read, which is Greg Kinnear's essay that he's writing.
Yeah.
It's so stupid that he hates computers, but I like it.
I love that because that's such a 90s thing. Such like, ugh, computers are terrible. They're not going to last for, give it 2 more years. Computers are going to be out. It's just, it's nice. It's nice to revisit old times.
But also just such a like specific writerly affectation.
Yeah.
I used to be a personal assistant to a writer who like made me go to typewriter stores to try to find one to buy.
Ooh.
Just
Oh,
like,
good.
oh my
Yes.
God, just use your fucking computer.
Yeah.
By typewriter stores, do you mean like thrift shops?
No, there are specifics. There's one off of like the 23rd Street NQR. That's
Wow.
like a little old dude in like a closet, like the size of. For listeners, you'll be able to know how big this living room is. It's about the size of this living room and just shellacked with typewriters.
Interesting.
Wow.
I was
That's
just in
neat.
that area earlier. Wonder if I passed it. Ooh.
Quit bragging,
It's
Edward.
the You've Got Mail of my life.
I'm also going with 3.5. I'm averaging because I thought I didn't really think Dave Chappelle's friend was very strong.
Right.
But I'm averaging that with a pretty strong support group at the bookshop. And, Greg Kinnear, I love him, but as far as like him being supportive, it didn't really come toward closer to the end. So that's more of a neutral role for me. So meshing all that together, 3.5 sounds kind of right.
Yeah. Can I pull the room? Do we think
Yeah.
that Dave Chappelle's character genuinely likes Tom Hanks's character?
No.
Or, yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
Right?
point. They're like work friends.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
And
okay.
then he forces Dave Chappelle to come with him on this date that Dave Chappelle's like, I have to do it because he's my boss. Like,
Yeah.
the CEO
Yeah.
doesn't have any friends.
Oh, he's forced into being his friend.
Like he's secretly got a wife at home, but gosh, Tom Hanks never asks about her, so he just never brings her up. And he's just
Yeah.
like, look, I gotta get home, but all right, fine.
I think
Yeah.
it's the
Fire
type
me
of
if
thing
not.
where it's like Tom Hanks is probably like, yeah, we're close friends, but he never gets invited to like Dave Chappelle's weekend barbecue,
Right.
or anything
Exactly.
like
Right.
that. Nor should he, because he would just eat all the barbecue
All the
caviar.
barbecued caviar.
Nasty.
Oh, I know we've closed the book on this, but I have to reopen something because I saw
Go for
something
it.
in my notes. In the scene where they meet at the cafe and supposedly New York 152 doesn't show up, they get into this long like bout about like hating how 20-year-olds never use their last name. Does
I
anyone
don't
remember
remember.
that?
Yeah. Wait, I wrote that down.
That was
I wrote
crazy.
down the quote.
Where they're like, oh, and they go around and they're just like, I'm Kathleen. I'm
Oh,
like,
wait.
Kathleen who?
Was that at the
that's-
coffee shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's because Joe is just like, I'm Joe. And she's like,
Yeah.
like your son's sorority girl.
Yeah, you're a 20-year-old sorority girl who doesn't use their last name.
It's like an
What is
entire
that?
generation of cocktail waitresses is the quote. That's
So weird.
That's the end of the quote. Yeah,
I-
I'm sorry.
I wrote down this is like a Fight Club speech, like, where you're just like, we get it.
All right, fine. You're unhappy.
Cool. You're gonna love Reddit in like 9 years, but for now, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
I saw it and I had to address it because that was so weird.
Yeah.
I didn't love that.
Yeah, that was bad.
Was that a thing that I missed in 1998? That it was weird to not use your last name, like,
I mean,
commonly?
you were a baby.
I was
maybe.
a tiny little baby.
A little tiny
but-
baby.
I was in first grade. Ooh. Okay, well, clearly I'm
Edward.
the only one aggravated by this.
Give us your rating,
The
please.
3.5.
Okay.
That's all.
Wow.
That was, we all said that, right?
A nice easy one.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, now the romance, the written like romantic scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
I say that with a good question mark in the end because I feel like they spent most of the movie hating each other. Was it romantic?
Yeah. Oh, God. I give it maybe one tall
Wow.
decaf cappuccino because it's just like they don't know who each other are for the whole thing. They're so mean to one another in person. He gaslights her. We end the movie with one kiss, and we're meant to think what they're like in love now.
Yeah.
But it's just like I read about this in my book, but it's like that idea that like the courtship is the most interesting thing, and then like story's over, you're happy forever, is so fucked up. Where it's just like you think you're gonna wait around and someone's gonna realize they're in love with you, or like if someone says they're not into you, like I feel like that manifests in like stalking behaviors where men think
Right.
it's like seduction to
Like,
wear
give
a
it
woman
time.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like no, like in something also new that I've started to do in addition to telling men they can't be mean to me is just like telling men I'm into them and like asking them out, and like if they're not into me then I know, great, and if they are then I deal with that. Like it's just way more stressful afterwards to like know someone's into you and trying to make it work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's a lot of waiting around and like guessing. I don't know. It's but no, not romantic, I guess, this movie then. Sorry, going back to the point. That wasn't a very clear segue.
Yeah, I don't know. I think was there like, because none of that was English. Was there like a giant romantic gesture on his part?
Yeah, because that's usually my favorite part of the romantic
Like I
comedy.
expected him to like buy her store back or something.
Yeah.
And like that would have really sealed like that for me, like a
Yeah.
higher rating.
I don't want to like rewrite this movie, but I do. What if she was like given her own like the Kathleen Kelly like children's section at Fox Books?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be such a nice
Anything
gesture.
like that. And that would have helped to show that he changed and stuff too. But
Right.
again, just the whole thing felt like he was getting away with it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I didn't like.
I think the closest thing to like a grand romantic gesture is when he forces his way into her
And
apartment when
right.
she's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like,
Oh, yeah.
makes his own tea. And yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's supposed to be the big thing.
Yeah, that's
but
so cute,
He's
but it's
just like, hello,
And it
let
kinda,
me in.
It goes back to what you said at the very beginning, where you're like, maybe you're looking at it through a now lens, and you have to look at it through a
Sure,
90s
sure.
lens.
Yeah.
But I think just because it's something that maybe was people accepted in the 90s doesn't make it right.
True.
Obviously, like I
That's-
don't have
yeah,
to say
yeah.
that, but I think for that reason, it should still be judged in a certain way and be like, is this bad?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with a 0.5.
Mm.
Ooh,
That's just a little sip of coffee.
that is a small, the size small.
I'll go with a 1. I'm not quite at half. It clearly tried. So 1. One decaf cappuccino.
One. Yeah, I think we've all said it's in the courtship and not in the romance. For better or worse. Worse in this case, but
And last up is comedy. What made you laugh? How much did you laugh? How would you rate it?
I'm trying to think of actual jokes that they say. Oh my god.
Yeah, the rom-com genre can be tough because I think sometimes it just falls into rom-com because that has got nowhere else to go. But I'm like, well, show me the com, then we'll talk.
I know. I'm actually interested to hear what you guys think because obviously like comedy is the sound of surprise or laughter is the sound of surprise or whatever, and like I've seen this movie so many times that it's like not surprising to me anymore, so it's hard to remember like if it was actually ever funny to me. I feel like I'd give it 3, but I can't point to anything really in particular.
Right. There's no like you wouldn't drive
Yeah.
home being like repeating the lines with your friend
Right,
or
right.
anything
Yeah.
after. I kind of felt like the tone stayed, except for the scenes where it purposely wasn't. But the tone during sort of like the 3/4 of the movie where it was light stayed comedic in a sense, where even though they weren't like zinging
It
jokes
was light,
and I wasn't
yeah.
laughing, the tone for me felt like a comedy where I felt like at any second I could let out like a huh or something along
Yeah.
those lines.
Yeah.
And I think that is a good quality for comedy to have, for it to never feel like not a comedy.
Yeah.
I think I would have found it funny if I were like 15 in 1998 when this came out.
Mm.
You know, I think it's hard to watch it now for the first time and be able to say it's funny, just because certain things that I think were funny back then aren't funny now. Like him just getting mad at her for doing her job and defending her business. Like I think that might have been funny back then.
Which
I
he
think
like
a lot of
told
the
her
times
to
he
do.
got mad.
Yeah.
What?
Which he told her to
Yeah.
do.
Right.
Not when it affects me.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, I feel like the really good laughs or, like, the things that I thought were funny didn't come from, like, the Tom Hanks at all or, like, the
Yeah.
gender
Yeah,
dynamics. It was all from, like, this is what it's like to be on the Upper West Side. Like,
Yeah.
the fight about, like, I didn't vote and, like,
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of, like, Birdie and, like, yeah, like, definitely the murder scene. Like, that kind of thing was really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my number? Maybe like a 2.5. Does that feels right? 2.5 tall
I'm also going
decaf
with the 2.5.
cappuccinos.
It wasn't hysterical. It wasn't unfunny, but it kind of was just a neutral there. And I think
a
that
light feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that there were funny lines, just no like big quotable laughs. Now, watching it now for the first
Sure,
time,
sure.
maybe at the time, like
Mm-hmm.
maybe there's like some line that You've Got Mail fans. I mean, you probably go on like the message boards, right?
Oh,
For You've
yeah.
Got Mail?
Oh, she's the
For
moderator.
over
Yeah,
30s.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I meant for You've Got Mail. And you were a 3, right?
Yes, 3.
Edward, what do you got?
I'll do the unpopular opinion and do a 3.5.
Ooh.
Because while, yes, there aren't, like, ha-has, you know how I laugh. It's a medical condition. While there aren't that many of those in the film, I had fun the whole time, and I smiled a lot. And that doesn't necessarily a comedy make, but I don't know. And I think everyone said the same thing, which is Greg Kinnear had some silly
He was
things.
pretty funny, actually.
Birdie
So
said some
good.
silly things. Even Parker Posey had some
Yeah.
one-liners that, while I can't remember now, I enjoyed while seeing the movie. So I don't know. Overall, the experience made me happy. And
Yeah.
I guess if
Yeah.
that's a form of comedy in a way. And
yeah.
3.5?
And I feel like there's that Tina Fey thing of like men like to write jokes about sharks and women like to write jokes about emotions or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think I prefer a movie where it's not just like a joke a minute, but like there's no real heart, where it's like she was really trying to make like a beautiful story and
Yeah.
it like is really beautiful. And I feel like that's why you can still watch it 20 years later.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like the jokes are more gentle and like character driven, and that works for me, even though
Yeah.
I'm not like gonna go, quote it.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like it felt like a comedy, even though it's like,
Yeah.
again, not
Right.
quotable.
It's more quote unquote realistic.
Yeah.
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 So I'm just going to add these puppies up, which, as
Okay.
we all know, takes an hour.
Math.
So we've added up the scores, and in terms of our insane rating system, the film gets 11.875 tall decaf cappuccinos out of 20, or 5.9375 tall decaf cappuccinos
Out of
out
10.
of 10,
That one makes more sense.
All right. So a 6.
Or-
oh boy.
59.375%
Percent
of
of
Oh,
a
no.
tall
a tall
decaf
Of a
cappuccino.
single tall.
We
decaf
haven't figured out
cappuccino.
which system we like better.
So
out
we
of
just
20,
put 'em
out
all
of
out
10,
there.
or a percentage.
That's so interesting also because I feel like I gave it pretty rough ratings, but it is one of my favorite movies.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, where is the tall decaf cappuccinos for totally like illogical love?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we just got one more segment. It's a game that people all across the globe are playing. It's becoming the new Fortnite. It's called Louvre Hot Snail.
Now explain. Now explain why we're playing Louvre Hot Snail.
Because the name of the game rhymes with "You've Got Mail." Now, it's a contest, so you're all on your own. And I'm going to say something, and you have to tell me if that falls into the category of French Museum, the Louvre. Something that's generally considered hot, or a snail.
Oh my God.
So real quick, can you everybody give me your buzzer sound just so I know what to listen for?
Beep, beep.
Bling blorp.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bong.
Great.
What's a long one?
That's either going to be your demise or your gold medal. So I'll say the thing, and you buzz in and tell me whether it's Louvre, hot, or snail. You guys ready?
This is perfect, by the way. Yeah.
All right. Coronation of Napoleon.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bong.
Blythe.
The Louvre.
Yes.
I was going to say snail. Darn.
Nope. Saunas.
Bling blong.
Edward.
Hot.
Yeah, nailed it.
Right.
The horse Tamara.
Bling blong.
Edward.
Well, I'm going to guess Louvre.
Yeah.
Ooh, the accent. I'm
Wow.
failing at this game right now.
Shells.
Bing, bing, bong. That's going to be a snail.
That's snail. Yeah.
I can't get my buzzes in fast enough.
Bing,
Chili peppers.
bing, bong.
Yep.
Hot.
Yeah, that's hot.
This is so fun.
The seated scribe.
Bling blong.
I'm going to say Haley.
That's
The
fair.
Louvre.
The Louvre.
Yay.
Oh, I finally got one.
Eating primarily lettuce.
Bling blong.
Yeah, Edward?
Now there's a toss-up between hot and snail, but I think we're going to go with snail.
Yeah, I guess it's like subjective.
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated swimsuit models.
Okay. I object to this
Bling
one.
bong.
No way.
I said traditionally.
Bling blong.
Yeah.
Snails.
1 point.
Oh, no!
Anyone else want to buzz in?
Absolutely not.
No.
Are they hanging at the Louvre?
Yeah, the Louvre.
I just thought it sounded funny. Liberty leading the people.
Bling blong.
Edward?
Well, at the Louvre.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Long eye sockets.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bong.
Yes.
Snails.
Snails, yeah.
Aw.
Guitar solos.
Bing, bing, bing. Hot.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
The Mona Lisa.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bong. The Louvre.
Yeah. Dads with tattoos.
Bling blong.
Oh, hot.
Yeah, dirty.
One time I went outside my grandma's house in Florida, and there were a bunch of these on the side of the house.
Bling blong.
Okay, Edward.
Snails.
Yeah, it was a lot of snails.
Wait, in Florida too? So it's hot as well.
Uh-oh.
No, but there weren't a lot of hots on the side of the house.
I don't know.
Unless there were a bunch of Sports Illustrated swimsuit models.
All right. You can't see, but we're all high-fiving right now.
The winged bowls.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bong. The Louvre.
Yeah.
The winged bowls.
Bowls.
Bulls.
Bulls,
Oh,
bulls.
bull. All right, great.
Bulls.
Yeah. A jacuzzi traditionally.
Bling blong.
Edward. Hot. Yeah. Probably can't ride one because humans are big and these are small.
Wait.
Yeah.
Snail.
Yeah, it's snails. The sun.
Bling blong.
Edward.
Hot.
Yep. Gabrielle Destrez and one of her sisters.
What? Who is that?
I feel like these must be women
Oh, wait.
who are.
Is this at the Louvre? All right, great. Whew.
Not sure you buzzed in, but I'll
I
give it to
didn't.
you.
No.
Oh, that was the
you
Louvre?
You can give that
Yeah.
to anyone else.
That's the name of a painting.
Oh, wow.
It's like a woman sitting and then another woman with her. Wheels.
Oh, bing, bing, bong, bong, bong. Hot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there you
Hot?
Hot
Oh,
Wheels.
Hot
Wheels.
Wheels.
The movie Turbo.
Bing bong. Snail.
Yep, we got 3 more. France.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bong. The Louvre.
Yeah, that was an easy
Yeah,
one.
okay. All right.
Richard Gere in 1991.
Bing bong.
Hot.
Did you know that his wife is half his age?
I didn't.
He's like 72 and she's 38.
I don't love
Oh.
this.
Are they like newly married? As of the last like several years.
As of the last year.
Okay.
I had girlfriend and had to change it to fiance in my book or
Oh, wow.
something like that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Mm.
And our last one, elementary school class pet. Yep.
Snail.
Yeah. By one point, I think in my head, because I lost track, give it to Blythe, everyone. Yeah.
Winner
my
of
God.
Louvre Hot Snail.
She gets this bucket of snails to take home with her.
Yay.
They are hot and they speak French. Blythe, thank you so much for being here. This was so fun.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me.
The book is How to Date Men When You Hate Men. It is
showing the audience right now.
yeah, it is very funny. It is very thoughtful. You are very smart, and we're loving it. As you can see, the bookmark is enjoying it
Almost
too.
all the way through.
Unless at some point toward the end you're like, and here's what I like about Trump, and then we're gonna be like, no, actually,
This is a long chapter.
yeah, this is weird. But so far, we're loving it.
Good, thank you.
Anything you want to plug? Where can the people find you?
Oh my God, you can follow me on Instagram at Blythe Like Happy, which is a handle I hate, but it's my handle.
Right.
And we'll put it in the description of the episode too, as well as the book title if you forget. For everyone here at the Meet Cute, I'm Zach.
I'm Haley.
I'm Edward.
Are you trying to think of a fun pun?
And we're all collectively Mr. Nasty.
All right.
Take care.